Hi, everyone. Welcome to our online English class. This is our first time, and I'm really happy to be able to do this today. So let's start with paying our respects to the Buddha. So please stand. Put your palms together. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. So for today's schedule, we will have Master Dosu giving us a few words of encouragement. And then we have Brother Joe, who will be sharing with us on how we continue to carry out Tzuji's four missions in this constantly changing world. And lastly, we'll have Sister Brenda sharing with us about Tzuji's climate movement and what actions we can take. So first of all, I'd like to remind everyone that in terms of the YouTube live video, please don't record it or take photos, snapshots of it and share it on Facebook, Twitter, or any other social media. We appreciate that very much. Thank you. So first of all, with Master Dosu's words of encouragement, unfortunately, Master Dosu is actually busy today. So we'll be sharing a pre-recording of her video. So let's watch the video now.
Greetings, Tzuji families around the world. We are very grateful today to have this platform for holding an online English class. Technology allows all of us at different places around the world to connect together to learn Dharma Master Sengen's teachings. We are very grateful for this. When the idea of holding an online English class was brought up, I was very supportive of this. However, as I cannot personally participate at the actual time for this class, what I'd like to share was pre-recorded. As the coronavirus is spreading around the world, I'd like to start with some reminders for everyone. Although you might have heard them already, it's still very important to stress this. As the health and well-being of our volunteers is almost important. First is practice social distancing. When you go out, stay about 2 meters or 6 feet away from people and avoid crowds or large gatherings. And please wash your hands often, but when you wash your hands, conserve water. Master says that water resources is dwindling, so we need to save water even when we are washing our hands. When we wash our hands, use a trickle amount of water to get our hands wet, then turn off the faucet. Lather our hands thoroughly with the soap, then we switch the faucet back on and adjust the water flow to small to wash the soap off. If everyone washes their hands clean with less water, the total amount of water saved together will be substantial. And when you cough or sneeze, cover your mouth. Stay vigilant and follow the guidelines of health experts to protect yourself. And as we are talking about measures to prevent the spread of the coronavirus, Master reminds us that we also need to prevent spiritual viruses from infecting us. The spiritual viruses are our afflictions, delusions, and ignorance, which cause us to create negative karma and lead us to suffering. The Buddha's teachings are like medicine for our spiritual illnesses. We need to take the medicine prescribed to us and take the Dharma to heart. The Dharma can heal our spiritual illnesses. If we don't heal our spiritual illnesses, our afflictions will keep on multiplying and we will create more and more negative karma. And this pandemic we're facing now is the collective karma of humanity. In practicing spiritual cultivation, we are learning to build up immunity against the spiritual viruses. Instead of having delusion, we have right views and right thinking. Instead of doing harmful deeds and create negative karma, we do beneficial things and create blessings. So in practicing spiritual cultivation, we are taking good care of ourselves, our mind, our conduct, and our speech. And this coronavirus pandemic we're facing now is an alarming disaster. Master says, in facing alarming disasters, we must awaken to the lessons they bring us. And looking into history is a good way for us to learn. In 1918, there was a flu pandemic known as the Spanish flu. It lasted 2 years, from January 1918 to December of 1920. The flu did not originate in Spain. It came to be known as the Spanish flu because the newspapers in Spain reported the flu extensively. Back then, it was the time of World War I, and news regarding the flu was censored in many warring countries, such as Germany, the United States, United Kingdom, and France. The reporting in Spain gave a false impression that Spain is especially hard hit, giving rise to the pandemic nickname Spanish flu. What caused the flu to spread was the movement of troops. As troops were moving from one area to another or returning to their country, they brought the flu back with them. It infected 500 million people, which is about a quarter of the world's population at the time. And it's estimated that between 20 million and 50 million died from the flu. So the viruses spread globally due to the movement of people. And so if we fast forward to our time, the convenience of transportation also helped the virus to spread to around the world. Look at this video of all the flights in a day around the world before the outbreak. So if we want to stop the spread of virus, we really have to limit our movement and our contact with other people. If you live in a place that has been in lockdown or are told to stay at home, please comply and bear with it for the time being. It's for the good of the public's health. So from history, we know that 60% of all infectious diseases that affect humans originated in animals. For example, AIDS came about after hunters in Africa killed and butchered chimpanzees, and the virus crossed into humans. And the SARS virus originated in bats that were transmitted to humans by a civet. So humans contract those viruses from animals by coming in contact with them or eating their meat. And because humans have crossed the boundary, so they got infected by the viruses. So this is one of the reasons why Master has been urging people to eat a vegetarian diet. If people are vegetarians, they don't need to capture or raise animals for meat and come in contact with these animals. And Master says, when disasters happen, we need to self-reflect on what we have done, on what humanity has done to bring about this disaster, and to repent for what we have done wrong. I think there are many things we can learn from this pandemic, how human activities have affected Mother Nature and wildlife. For example, blue skies have returned to many cities in China. If we think about this, the sky has always been blue. It's not for the pollution we created. And this was what Beijing looked like when the sky was polluted. And reduced human activities also brought clear water to the canals in Venice. With less boat traffic, disturbing the water, the sediments stay at the bottom of the canal, keeping the water clear. And fish can be seen in the canal as well. With reduced human presence, wild animals are spotted around the world in lockdown cities. For example, in San Francisco, US, a coyote enjoys the view while the tourists are away. And wild boars can be seen roaming the streets in Sardinia, Italy. This pandemic lets us pause and think about what humans have been doing. We need to rethink about humans' place in the world and our relationship with Mother Nature. We're only one species out of an estimated 8.7 million species living on Earth. Humans are tiny compared to Mother Nature. We are not above it. We should leave more space to animals and Mother Nature instead of encroaching on the habitats of wild animals or destroy the environment for economic growth. And Master has long time been giving us the direction of to love and respect Mother Nature and create good collective karma for our world. There's a saying in Chinese, one good deed dispels 1,000 disasters. At this difficult time, people must be in unity to fight this pandemic disaster. As Tzu Chi volunteers, let us reach out to people who are in need and lend them a helping hand. Reach out to people you know, check on your friends, neighbors, family, care recipients, fellow volunteers, and ask them how they're doing, if they need any help getting groceries, medicines, or other things. At a time when the pandemic puts physical distances between people, let us pull together people's hearts with love and care. For example, in Taiwan, volunteers prepared care packages for people who are in quarantine to make them feel that there are people caring about them when they are in isolation. And with the current face mask shortage, we see volunteers in various countries have been making cloth masks for people. And Tzu Chi volunteers also send love to medical professionals by delivering their necessities and medical protective gear. They also make gift packs to give them encouragement and support. Of course, right now, we have a campaign to promote vegetarian diet. We see volunteers encourage people to make pledges to eat a vegetarian diet. Some even provide vegetarian meals. What Master hopes is that people can switch to eating a vegetarian diet for good, not just for a certain number of meals or for a period of short time. And there are many more ways of sending our love and care to people. These are just some examples. The situation is different in different countries and in different communities. Some places are undergoing lockdown, other places have restricted movement. So what you can do and what you are allowed to do in your areas are all different. But look out for opportunities where you can help. And when opportunities come up, seize them and create blessings. Take precaution to protect yourself when carrying out any kind of charity work or Tzu Chi activities in your community. May everyone stay safe, healthy, and well during this pandemic. And let us all sincerely pray for this pandemic to end quickly. Thank you.